Right, so Cucurella Hato is on his way. We have the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, and something tells me that more arrivals will be following very soon. And in today's episode, myself and the big dog, channel fan favourite, Mr. Josh Aveste, will be breaking down all the transfer news as well as speculating on who we think could be the shock departures. So potentially not anyone that you've been briefed on, any rumours that are ongoing at the moment, but there's definitely going to be significant ripple effects in this transfer window. So we're going to discuss all of it today, but before we get into all of that, do you know, I always forget to do this when you're in the studio with me.
You're a disgrace.
I am an absolute
You should be
disgrace.
incredibly ashamed of yourself for not doing it.
But because I am remembering to do it now, please hit the like on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I think around 45% of you lot that watch nearly every video aren't subscribed. So please do that. And also, the Joey and Josh podcast channel, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, is linked in the description to this video. We've got true crime episodes going up on there every single week at the moment.
I think there's near enough 60 episodes on that.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a huge amount of videos on that channel right now. So if you haven't caught it yet, this is a good time to do so. You'll have a lot of content to watch.
There you go. There you go. But let's get straight in to the Chelsea transfer news. Now, are you going to come under a lot of stick? Are you a little bit worried about the fact that we've signed this man?
Well, yeah, because I always thought that McCallum Mudryk could do a job at left wing back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'll tell you why you should be worried.
Why?
Because you don't know your J's and your Y's.
Go on, why?
Go on then, tell me his name.
He's throwing me off now. Cucurella Hato. Obviously.
Is it?
Obviously.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cucurella Hato, is
yeah,
it?
go on. Yeah, obviously.
Urel.
Is that what you're saying?
Urel.
What'd you call me?
I'm being told it's Cucurella Hato.
Mate, when have we ever come onto this sofa and said names correctly?
Never. Never.
We were the ones that probably invented Dave.
Yeah.
Because, quite frankly, Hussein Azpilicueta.
Well, do you know what it is? There's been a lot of debate in the comment section of our videos on the pronunciation of Jose and Jose. Yeah?
There's a right answer, Jerry.
That's
That's what they say anyway.
And it's Jose.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But at times, me and you have both been guilty of addressing him by both Jose and Jose, isn't it?
Yeah. But maybe I feel like when you see that name, it's more often in the Spanish context. So more often than not, you're saying Jose.
Well, regardless, by the end of the season, I think we can both agree that we will have the pronunciation right, if not by the end of the 26-27 season. Yeah?
I would rather intentionally say it wrong.
What, just piss people off?
No, just more because I'm going to say it how I want to say it.
You're a devil. You're a devil, you are. Speaking of the Red Devils, they wanted this man, didn't they?
I mean, the Man United want every single player in the world right now, and they can't get them.
Yeah, apart from Garnacho and Rashford.
Oh, God. Are we going to speak about a certain Argentinian player today?
We'll speak about Argentinian players. We ain't going to speak about that one.
Are we not?
No.
I feel like we actually do have to speak about him at some point, mate.
Right. Call me mental. But
you're mental.
No, I know. But, right, what did I don't know whether you read through the kickoff group chat last night, but what did I say I am? Very superstitious. Very superstitious.
Okay, so what has this got to do with?
I don't want to talk about him.
Oh,
because when I talk about things, they end up fucking happening. They always end up happening. Like, literally, yeah, every match preview I did for last season, go and watch them, yeah. I'll go, do you know who I really think we need to watch in this match is, and then I'll say a name, and then that's always the one that scores against us or whatever. Yeah. And people can go, oh, well, if you said Mo Salah. No, like, I'm on about more niche things than that. Like, so many things that we say on this thing does come true and does end up happening. And that's why I don't want to talk about that right now.
Well, going back to Hato, if you've got a choice between Chelsea and Man United, it's not really a difficult one, is it? You've got a choice of, champions of the world.
Yep.
Champions of Europe.
Yep.
A team that are on the up.
Yep.
A team that are recruiting some of the best young players in the entire world.
Yep.
Got a world-beating manager in charge.
One of the
that's
best looking managers in the Premier League as well.
Always said I love a bald head.
Yeah, exactly.
Always said it.
He's got Max Branning vibes about him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might be bald, but that doesn't stop the women.
Jason Statham,
for
example.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis back in the day.
Love Bruce Willis. Tragic news.
Tragic news about Bruce.
Recently.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely gutted
Wishing
about
Bruce
that.
all the best.
Yes, 100%. If he's watching, which I doubt he is, but
If he might be a Chelsea
someone
fan.
could be watching. Someone could be
you
watching.
might
Right. Okay. So, £37 million. The first thing that jumped out at me.
Bargain.
Bargain.
It's not a lot of money, is it?
Yeah, it's fuck all.
It's not. It's actually not that much money in the current climate. How much, Joey, did we get for Noni Madueke?
How much?
How many?
We got about 55 mil.
We're pretty good at selling, aren't we? We're
I literally did.
We're pretty good at the transfer market.
I
aren't we?
literally did a short on this the other day where I compared our record sales to Arsenal's. Did you see it?
You put a message in a group recently, and you said what the record sale for Arsenal was, and you need to tell these guys what it is. It's insane.
Arsenal's record sale, right, is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for 35 million to Liverpool, right? And obviously, when I've found that out, you know, I'm like, I've started like digging, and I'm like, hold on, no,
Sanchez
whatever.
surely
and
should
I'm
have been up
thinking,
there.
do you know what it? Hey,
Sanchez.
Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
No. He's like below that, like 31 million or something.
What?
And they did the whole advert when he signed for Man U and all that shit. And they, you know what I mean? Probably spent more on the advert than the player.
Van Persie to Man United.
Fuck all, like 28 mil, something like that. He was 29 years old, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was a 24-year-old, yeah?
Yeah.
He had problems the season before, but he had scored some really important goals.
By the way,
the
he had
season
problems
before.
at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Fuck, you know, do you remember the ref?
I do remember that.
Who is it? Kieran
It was Kieran Gibbs
and
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, which
he
was the
sent off
mistaken of.
Chambo.
I think, because it must have been Gibbs on the line, mustn't it? Because he was at left back.
Yeah.
It must have been Gibbs on the line. And then he sent off Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Mad, isn't
What
it?
a joke.
What would you do?
What a joke.
What would you do?
I'd grasp my mate up.
Would you
100%.
grasp your power?
Mate, I would 100% say it wasn't me. I wouldn't want to get sent off.
Wasn't it the day of the thrashing?
And also, if Gibbs was a proper bloke as well and a teammate, he would have gone, "Look, it was me."
Yeah, but
I think he did actually.
Yeah, but it was the day of the thrashing, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6-0.
Right. So
Oh, you're saying you don't
what
want
do
to
you
be on
need
the pitch?
more on the pitch?
You need defenders, but I'm talking about it from an individual level, not from like a team. Like, if you got sent off, would you own up to being sent off in that situation? Like, would you go to the ref? Look, you've made a mistake. It was actually me.
No, I'd stay on the pitch. I'd let them send my power off. I'd let them send my power.
fall on my.
Because what
I'd
if I
fall
go
on my
and score the
swords.
winner?
No,
You know what
I'd
I mean?
fall on my swords. I'd fall on my sword
no,
there.
no.
I'm a better man.
Right, Hato. Okay, I got a bit of stick in the last episode. Well, not the last episode. One of the videos I did at home, and I said, look, this guy's not going to be a centre back for us, right? This guy's going to be a left back for us. Now, the reason I said that was because I see the most accessible way into the team as being at left back, right? I've got no doubt. Yeah, all right, he can play centre back. Like, I know he's played just as many games in his career at centre back. 6 foot, so not at all. You know, he's not Benoit Baddy a shill.
Just want to say 5'11.5", which is a classic thing to do, isn't it? But
what?
I just want to say, not quite 6 foot.
Okay, not quite 6
Just
foot.
to clarify.
Okay.
Because I think that's important, Jerry, both in Hinge and for Chelsea.
Yeah, there you go. But okay, well, just under 6 foot. I think that he's gonna be a understudy / successor, mentee. Is a mentee someone that's been mentored?
I don't think that's an official word, but I like it.
We'll make it.
It does what
We'll
it
get in
does
the
what
Urban
it says on the
Dictionary.
tin. Yeah.
I think he'll be an understudy to Cucurella. One of the things that I would say is, like, I've seen a few people calling his ambition. Because, say, for example, if you look at a Man United, right? Luke Shaw, his best days are past him. Still a good player, experienced player, still a player that they could definitely use, like, when he's fit and available because of that experience. And he's one of their more senior players and quite reliable. But at the same time, you could look at him as an option there at Man United. There was loads of clubs that were after him. And I've seen a few people online saying, oh, it's a little bit unambitious signing for Chelsea because no one's getting in ahead of Cucurella. I think what people probably don't understand is, one, they're being massive hypocrites. I've seen it, I'm not going to name any names, I've seen this coming from non-Chelsea fans. One, they're being massive hypocrites because all of a sudden this kid's an idiot because he's not going to get in ahead of Cucurella, but apparently Cucurella's not the best left back in the league, which is what, in my opinion, he is. Apparently, he's not even like top 3 left backs in the league. I mean, I absolutely love this man, but Jacob Hawley, even Jacob said, what did he say on the kickoff?
He said that just prepare yourself for this. He said that Lewis Skelly is a better player than Mark Cucurella. And he said it, Joey, he said it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
That was the proof that Arsenal fans were deluded.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah. But aren't we all?
No, we're not. Because I can go and look at a Liverpool side and go, do you know what? Ekatike is a really good signing for them and he's going to improve them. Yeah. We're humble enough to go, fuck me, that Liverpool side looked really good. We're humble enough to go, do you know what? The centre-back pairing for Arsenal, they kept out so many goals last season. They're really good. Like, I don't think we're biased to sort of, to a point, are we?
No,
I mean we're biased,
mate,
but we can admit when players are good.
I'm biased, but like, even when Madueke was still at the club, I told you that I thought Anthony Gordon was a better player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I can't admit that. To be fair to Jacob, who we mentioned earlier, Jacob has praised loads of Chelsea players, and I remember before he was saying how much he'd love Enzo Fernandez in that Arsenal midfield. So yeah. I'm not like debating that. But what I'm saying here is Cucurella being there doesn't prove a lack of ambition at all, in my opinion, because Cucurella last season was, please say the word for me,
the best player in the world.
No, the one with the N's and the M.
Anonymous.
Anomaly.
Oh, anomaly. Yeah,
he was, wasn't he?
I thought you were going to say anonymous. I was like, what the fuck are you
to
on?
have played that amount of matches, right? To have performed as consistently high level in those matches as he did,
not just for Chelsea, for Spain as well.
Not just for Chelsea, but for Spain, right? Is somewhat a freak of nature, right?
Yeah.
If that man was able to do that for like 10 seasons in a row, we'd be looking at him going, mate, he is a freak. Athletically, he's a freak to be able to do that. And in terms of just how good he is as a footballer, that's unreal. I think this is where, once again, realism comes into things, and we understand that this man needs to be preserved a bit.
Yeah. You can't play him every single game. And also what I love about the directors of football, which I think they're doing across the board now, is they're having a conveyor belt of players so that when the big player inevitably either becomes too old or leaves, then they've got someone that is ready to come in and replace them. We've seen it with like a Malo Gusto and a Reece James. Like in time, Malo Gusto might not be as amazing as Reece James has been, but that's because Reece James is a generational player. You've got someone that can be an immediate understudy to them, but also could potentially become the person. Do you see what I mean? You're seeing what they're doing with that in terms of the midfield as well. Like you look at Asugu and Santos, they're the next generation, but they can still do it now. But one day, we're not going to have a Moises Caicedo. I hate to think about it, but it's true. We're not going to have an Enzo. And also, you even look on the right wing, Pedro Neto just had a brilliant tournament at the Club World Cup, finished the year off really well, looks like an amazing player. But you got an Estavio on the bench waiting to take his place one day as an 18-year-old. So ultimately, let's be honest, as much as we've degraded and said that the directors of football aren't that good at their jobs at points, and I think we have to put our hands up and say that, we've done it, I think the way that they are planning this squad is smart.
Well, the main thing that I am now seeing, right, is direction. And before I didn't feel there was direction, before I felt it was a bit chaotic and let's stick this piece in this hole and see if it fits, yeah? Square pegs, round holes, we were constantly referring to it as. Now I'm really starting to see direction. And do you know what sums it actually up, right? By the way, I'm not saying that Hato is a like for like with Cucurella. I'm not saying that at all, right? But Hato is closer to Cucurella than Ian Maatson is to Cucurella.
Yeah.
And
Or
at the time, me and you really questioned that sale, didn't we?
We did. I remember Ian Maatson was playing pre-season tournament games as a number 10. So you could argue that the writing was on the wall there to say that he could have played in a Cucurella position.
Exactly.
Couldn't
That's so mental to think that when you say it. He was playing the number 10, scoring and assisting in pre-season.
Looking really good.
Looking electric, by the way. And when you especially past the first sort of third of that season, last season, when you look, I wish I had one that I could give you, but when you look at a Cucurella heat map, actually what they were trying out with Maatson ended up being kind of what Cucurella did, right? Now, clearly, for whatever reason, and by the way, like, Ian Maatson didn't tear up trees at Aston Villa. He wasn't really given the opportunity all that much. I think that Ian Maatson will go on to be a very, very good player, right? I already think he's a very, very good player. But they didn't think it fitted. We doubted the decision, right? Totally. And then that what we're not sort of countering him is they didn't then go from that to Hato. No. They tried something in between. Yeah. Right? So they tried out, I'm not going to say Kenny Wiley, they tried out Renato Vega, right? Which is one that could do both. He could do the left centre-back, he could do the left-back, he could be the cover. He's clearly shown that he can be a ball carrier going forward, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't want to call it an attitude problem because I don't want to ever label stuff as things that I don't have concrete evidence they are. But there was something happened there that wasn't purely for footballing reasons. Would you agree?
I think he said to them he wanted to be a centre-back. That's what all the rumours are. He said he didn't want to be playing at left-back or at DM. And so he wanted to be considered a centre-back. And let's be honest, look at the depth in the centre-back region. Was he ever going to get a game?
Yeah. Exactly. And this is why I think this is why I stated Hato would be more as a left back for us, because I don't think you're going to have two left footers as a centre back pairing. I'm not saying it's never been done before, but I don't think you're going to have two left footers and no one's displacing Levi Colwell at this moment in time. So I believe that with moving Maatson on, which at the time I wasn't in favour of, right? With the, I don't want to call it failed signing, but with what they attempted with Renato Vega and now moving on to Hato and getting him for a really good price, that does give me confidence in the board in terms of a transfer strategy, because actually that isn't square pegs, round holes. That's, I feel, a very distinct pool of sort of criteria that you've looked in there, haven't you?
Can you also just say this? We've made money signing one of the best up-and-coming left-backs in the entire world. We've made money. If you look at the transfer fee of Maatson and you add the transfer profit of what we're going to get for Vega, bearing in mind we signed him, I think, for £12.5 million.
Vega's a great one, to be fair, like profit-wise.
This is the thing. I think what Chelsea fans we've got to look at sometimes is there are signings that we'll be bringing in and we'll be integrating them in the squad. They'll be part of the first team, but they're there to make profit in. Look at Leslie Gachukwu. He was potentially in and around the first team, played games for us, but I feel like he's one of those players that was always going to come in and go somewhere else. Could have been Strasbourg.
Can I tell you something, right? You know this thing, and again, I'm not like looking down the lens and going, yeah, no, it's you guys. It's us. We've done it. We've literally done it. We've sat there and criticised things and been sometimes right on it and sometimes wrong on it. But when you look at Man City, for example, right? I mean, obviously we don't hang around school playgrounds, so we don't know many Man City fans. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not many Man City fans. But do you hear many Man City fans going mad about the players that have left their club? Because let's be honest, we could make a couple of starting 11s that could be fielded in Champions League games of Man City departures. And I'm on about, players that have left at a young age, like a Romeo Lavia, like a Cole Palmer, Liam Delap, who all conveniently are coming to us right now. You don't hear Man City moaning about it. And do you know why you don't hear them moaning about it? Why?
Yeah.
Success.
Really? It's
Success.
as simple as that.
Winning titles. Yeah. Winning league titles. Winning a Champions League in there as well, right? Success. Maybe if the success goes, maybe you might start to hear about it. But let's say, for example, a Renato Vega, yeah? That's a player that when he was brought in, I think we were both quite excited by. And then once we saw him play, I can't speak for you, but I myself, I was like, oh my God, this bloke's giving me a bit of a Yaya Toure vibe. Obviously, I was going well over the top. I always do. But I was really excited about him.
He did make mistakes, though.
He did.
Didn't he?
He did.
Like very high-profile mistakes.
But he also showed a lot of passion and was willing to get stuck in. There was a lot of attributes that I admire in a player that I really liked in him, right? So when it all happened, I was a bit like, oh, I'm a bit gutted about that. But now, you know, given time, the bigger picture, things are starting to come together. So I'm really, really happy with it. One thing I'm also happy to hear is that we are giving a new contract to Cucurella. So this is not the end of Cucurella. I do not think at all that Cucurella is going to be moving to Al Nassr. Obviously, there's been heavy sort of speculation about that. Ronaldo wants him there, apparently. I don't know if Ronaldo wants to stay. Do you know what I mean? So Ronaldo wanting you to go there, I don't know. I'm not accusing him he doesn't, but I'm just saying, right? So we're going to increase Cucurella's wage. Now, the thing here is this. Did Cole Palmer deserve a big wage increase?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Did Caicedo deserve a big wage increase?
I would say we should probably pay him even more than we're paying him.
There you go. Have we not upgraded? Have we not?
We have, but I'm looking at it now, and he's on 150 grand a week.
Oh, well, yeah. I think he's in line for more than that. But I think we brought him in on like 80 or 90, and we put him on 150 after a season. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. He's obviously
we can always integral. Keep upgrading it.
Can always keep upgrading it. Small upgrades, nothing wrong with that. He's very, very young, so it's integral. However, there is something very, very different with Cucurella, isn't there? Cucurella was signed in the Bowley spending spree.
Very different time.
Very different time. When we were offering the likes of Raheem Sterling 325 grand a week.
You've also got to remember, in that negotiation that we were looking for to get Cucurella, he was very close to going to Man City. So I'm pretty sure he would have had a wage packet on the table from Man City. Yeah. So, and I mean, arguably, potentially more at the time. But they couldn't get the deal done, could they? And
there you go. So, off of the back of that, do you know what Cucurella's on per week?
Right now,
Cucurella is on 175 grand a week, right? Let me be very, very clear. That doesn't surprise me in terms of a reflection of what we're getting from that player and what we are then paying to that player. Doesn't surprise me at all. I'd actually argue that if you look at what some other players are on, he definitely deserves to be on more than that. We'd also make an argument of the fact that we're not trying to be a Man United, you know what I mean? Even at Arsenal, like, salary, some of the wages are ridiculous. We're trying to be a lot more clever with that. So the question I have for you is, at 27 years old, what is the magic number? Because it's 175 at the minute. What is the magic number that we upgrade these wages to?
We're talking about base salary as well, by the way, because there'll be bonuses on top of these. And in fact, the boys have already made a considerable amount of money from playing in the Club World Cup, winning that. And also they'll be on other bonuses as well. But you have to say, you can't really be going up to the 250, 300 range, because quite frankly, we just don't pay that.
Absolutely no way.
And
I love Cucurella.
And also, by the way, the context then is how much more is he earning than a Cole Palmer, than an Enzo Fernandez, then a Caicedo. So, you know, you hear these things called wage structure, and I actually kind of get a little bit bored of that term. But basically, you don't want players that are elite getting jealous of players that, you know, are on their level, but are not on their salary level. So what I'm saying is, in terms of a number, why isn't 200? 200 seems fair.
200's the number. 200's always been the number for me. 200's the number. However, at 27 years old, 27 is always 26, 27 is always when I say a player starts to think very, very differently, right? You stop thinking so much, and by the way, I'm not accusing anyone of this or Cucurella of this, but you stop thinking so much about the love that you have for the club that you're playing for, and you start thinking about the love that you have for your children, and potentially their children, and potentially their children. And you want to be able to earn enough money that your bloodline for for years and years and years, long after you're gone, is eating well. Yeah. And there will be there will potentially be offers that are higher wages. Maybe they might come from abroad. Maybe they might come. So in terms of Cucurella, right? At the minute, it's all well and good going, 200 grand a week. But who wouldn't want Cucurella? And if a huge bid was to come in for him that covered what we had paid for him, and then the wages were really high, I think that there might be a scenario where Cucurella could at some point leave Chelsea Football Club.
When do you think he will?
When?
Yeah. When do you think Cucurella will actually get
Can I ask when I hope he will? Can I answer with when I hope he will?
Yeah.
I hope that he's with us until 32 years old.
5 more years of Mark Cucurella.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially 2 contracts, that is, by the way. It's a long time.
Well, it's you say it's a long time, but I think he's got 5 more years left in him.
He'll be good at 32. He'll still be in his prime at 32, I think.
When I look at his game and when I look at his injury record, which is pretty good. I mean, he's had one proper stint on the sidelines in his time at Chelsea.
Wasn't that an ankle break?
Yeah.
So you can't really blame him for that. That's like an impact injury.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why it's not a concerning one.
Yeah.
It was, and he came straight back into the team. Not only did he come back into the team, played fucking
Looked even better.
Played fucking right back and played unreal.
Yeah.
Was there away at Craven Cottage. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I'd give him until then because I see so much in Cucurella that I'm like, mate, even if you have a leg amputated, I still want you around because we are sometimes referred to on this channel as
toxic positivity.
Vibes FC, I call it.
Really?
And I think Cucurella is integral for Vibes FC.
Can I just say, thinking about Vibes FC, do you think there's ever been a player that has played for Chelsea that has got more opposition players red carded than Mark Cucurella? Could an Eden Hazard have been up there?
I was about to say Eden Hazard, last ditch sort of.
What about David Luiz?
No.
Because he got a lot of people sent off.
Involved. He didn't actually get a lot of people sent off. It was just more
That
when
one.
he did, he really went for it, you know. No, I'd say you're right in terms of Cucurella. I'm sure the historians could put up
So
someone.
there you go. Even if he ends up being on the bench,
Yeah.
maybe he'll end up getting someone sent off for pulling his hair.
And
That's why he never gets rid of the hair, by the way.
there you go. And therefore, by the way, we think that it's completely fine to have Hato and Cucurella coexist. There's possibility you could see him in the same lineup, and even if not, the age gap's so far. It's 8 years in age. So to just quash any speculation that I'm seeing online, is there anything unambitious about being a Jarell Hato and moving to Chelsea, knowing that they do have a first choice left back there?
Absolutely not. And also, the fans that are saying that, Joey, let's be honest, are just jealous they haven't been able to get him. I weirdly think, I haven't even thought about this until now, but I weirdly think Jared Hato coming in might pave the way for a potential 5 at the back system in which we play throughout the season. There'll be games in which we potentially want to move to that. Allow Cucurella to be the one that really bombs on and gets closest to the goal, and then have Gusto on the other side as the other attacking wing back. Have Hato in the defence.
Do you remember Cucurella's first goal? Not for Chelsea, his first goal.
No.
It was that obviously. I'm
Not
not
first goal ever.
Like first goal
in the Prem.
of us knowing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Prem,
I don't remember it,
because
no.
I didn't know. Where
Brighton.
was it? Where was he for?
He was at
Brighton?
Getafe, wasn't he?
Sociedad or Getafe?
Getafe,
Somewhere like
I
that.
think.
Yeah, I don't remember him. You know what I mean?
He was
I didn't know.
Barcelona Academy, wasn't
Yeah, but I didn't know him. Anyway, Man United, he roofs one, left-footed, he roofs it, right?
For Brighton.
And cries. Literally cries.
he? Why?
I don't know. But he cried.
Cried with happiness?
Yeah, obviously. I just thought it was like, you've never scored before. I'm my first goal. But anyway, right?
It was about 3 weeks ago.
Now, he don't even fucking break a sweat if he scores a goal.
No.
He's just the man at it. He's turned into
So true.
the dog's bollocks at it. So yeah, long may Cucurella stay at Chelsea Football Club, and I am delighted with the signing of Hato. Let's move on to some other transfer news, because an interesting one that came across my lap last night was Sunderland have apparently made an approach for Mark Gue on loan. Straight away, before we actually just get into it and discuss it, hit me with your thoughts.
Did you ever think that Mark Yu could have been the starting striker behind a midfield of Jordan Henderson and Garnacho?
Didn't cross my mind, no.
Jordan Henderson's gone to fucking Brentford, hasn't he? He was meant to be going to Sunderland. So, yeah, they were rumoured to get him. But, yeah, Granit Xhaka in the midfield. They've got another Strasbourg midfielder behind him as well. I think... I'm in two minds about this move. Do you know why? Because I think he could have gone to Ipswich, because there were lots of rumours at the start of the window that he could have replaced Rory Delap.
Yep.
And you mean to say
Liam Delap, yeah, I was going to say.
I always call him Rory. I can't get Rory out of my head.
Do you know how many times this season I'm going to refer to this boy as Rory Delap?
I know, I'm going to do it all
Especially
season.
when I'm doing live streams for games.
I'm just doing it out of the love for Rory now at this point.
I wonder who he supported.
Rory Delap.
Yeah.
He was a northerner, wasn't he? Don't know. Don't know. But yeah, look, Mark Yu. Wonderful player.
Yeah.
And I really am glad that he's going out on loan, because he could have been sat on the bench all season. Really, for us, if we're being a little bit selfish, I would quite like to have a third striker on the bench, potentially. But if he's going to be playing week in, week out for Sunderland, I think that's only a good thing. There is a small chance that Sunderland, for whatever reason, manage to pull together a squad where they can survive. If they do that, then that would be a great move for Mark Yu. But let's be honest, would you rather be languishing at the bottom of the Premier League, barely scoring any goals and looking a bit shit, much like Anuga Chukwu did for Southampton?
Yeah.
Is that a good move for him? Question mark. Or tearing it up in the Championship, scoring loads of goals?
I'd rather be tearing it up in the Championship, scoring loads of goals, and I therefore would have rather he went to an Ipswich. But it's not the fact of scoring loads of goals and having loads of individual success that defines it for me, right? Because as much as you can use that example, they've been... I mean, look, Liam Delap's got a move from Ipswich this year. It was to be expected. Very good. But Ipswich weren't awful. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just now become such a gulf that if you stick Ipswich in the Premier League in 2015, yeah, they probably survive that season, right? So what I'm saying is that they're not awful, but I think that the financial side of the game has created a massive, massive gulf, right? And therefore, it's not so much about the player and the club they're going to. It's very much about the style of play and the way things are going to be going. So some players can go down rock bottom and shine, and I'm on about Romeo Lavia. And why is that?
True.
Why did Romeo Lavia have the opportunity to shine, even though his team went down rock bottom and were constantly conceding goals? And
I mean, I would argue just individual quality with the Romeo Lavia point. He was just so much better than everyone around him. He looked like a diamond in the rough.
so
Have you got a better reason
See
than
what
that?
you just said there?
Come.
Everyone around him. Everyone's fucking around him. He's a central defensive midfielder. You know what I mean? Mate, he's going to shine. That's why so often we give praise to relegated goalkeepers.
True.
Think how
He's having to do a lot more work.
Think
in that
how
position.
often we go.
Yeah.
I tell you what, their goalie's fucking well good. Like, do you know what I mean? I know it from like when a promoted team will come up, and I mean Trafford at Burnley, for example, right? Moved on now. But
That's a joke transfer
yeah,
as
but
well,
I know how often a promoted team will come up and I'll be like, fuck me, they got a well good goalkeeper and whatever, but we don't really realise it. We realise it because they're called into action so much. Romeo Lavia was called into action so much at Southampton because he was having to put out fires left, right and centre.
Can I just say there was a Sunderland goalkeeper that I remember that did that. Do you remember Pantilimon?
No.
There was this goalkeeper for Sunderland they had, and he looked amazing for them. He used to do so many really good saves.
Really?
Yeah.
Pantilimon, no.
He used to be Man City as well, I think.
No, I don't
Weird
remember.
player.
Yeah, but
Barclays
what I'm saying is, if, for example, Sunderland are having, I don't know, 10% possession in the final third of the opponent's halves on average in each game, yeah, then Mark Yu might not be able to have opportunity to not only shine but to develop in that way. Because do you know what the first thing I think of when I think of Mark Yu?
Go on.
I think of pressing machine.
Yes, which is what they're going to have to do, though.
They will, but I just don't know how successful it will be.
I also don't know how much support he's going to get in that press.
Yeah.
Like, the wingers aren't going to be pressing very high for Sunderland, aren't they? They're going to be recovering from all the gas they've used to get back to track the left back or the right back. They have signed some good players, though. They've got a Dingra. Do you remember him from Brighton? He was a really good winger. He looks really exciting. Sunderland have made some very aggressive transfers.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how well they do. I don't think they're going to be a derby. I don't think they're going to fall away that way. I think they'll get points this year.
Yeah.
Don't know who against.
I think they'll get relegated, to be honest.
I think they'll get relegated. I'm just saying that I don't think they're going to be a derby.
Who's got the best chance?
Out of the 3 promoted teams.
Because everyone's now saying Sunderland because of the transfer business, but before the transfer business, everyone was saying Leeds.
I wouldn't say Burnley. I think Burnley are going to be potentially the weakest out of all of them.
Yeah.
Do you rate Scott Parker as manager as well?
Yeah.
You rate? I know you've always
do.
loved him.
I've always loved Scotty P.
Yeah.
But either way, due to Sunderland, would I have rather had him go somewhere else? Probably.
If you could pick, where would you want him to go?
I would have wanted him to go to Ipswich.
Really?
Yeah, I would have wanted him to go to Ipswich because then I could have potentially, he'd have had to do a 2-season loan, but I could have potentially looked like a genius.
Why? Why would you have looked like a genius?
Because I said...
What did you say?
I said that Mark Hugh would have scored just as many goals in that Ipswich team as Liam Delap. We don't need to check the receipts because I own up to it when I say stupid stuff. Right, anyway, speaking of people that sometimes do stupid things, let's move on to our boy Nico Jackson. Right. Does he stay or does he go? Because there is a serious ripple effect that literally, like, at the time of recording can be changing. Do you know what I mean? We're going to whack this episode up straight away, but at the time of recording, this could be changing. Nicholas Jackson, at this moment in time, is going to be fighting for the number 1 spot with Liam Delap, João Pedro, potentially even more players, who knows, right? If he was to move, the most likely destination for him, in my opinion, would be Newcastle. Agreed?
I really do think he's going to end up at Man United.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I
do you
think there's something in this Garnacho deal, and I'm sorry to say it, but I also think there's player trading that Man United need to do to be able to afford deals. And who are they going to trade with RB Leipzig for Šeško? Yeah. They can't afford Šeško. They definitely can't afford him.
And we've got a good relationship with them. I mean, good in our favour. Like, we got
United.
I mean, like, we got told there was an obligation to buy, didn't we? We got told
for Sancho.
We got told there was an obligation to buy, and then when it gets towards the end of the season, it's like, oh no, there's not an obligation to buy. You can pay a fee to get out of it. 50. Was it 50 or 50? Probably 50 because he wouldn't have won any bonuses, wouldn't have even made enough appearances in that first season to be able to qualify for him. So even call it 50. 50 for Mason Mount with 1 year left in his contract. Yeah. Ridiculously good in our favour. 100%. So we do good business, but I don't think that a swap deal, and I'll just talk about it now because you've already started it. I didn't want to talk about it because I don't really want it to happen, right? But I don't think a swap deal for Garnacho is good business.
Joey,
Nicholas Jackson is a better player than Garnacho.
We've got to talk about this because it's going to happen. I'm sorry to say. We've heard rumours about Garnacho coming to Chelsea for 18 months? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen Chelsea fans now online now looking at the stats and going, he's not as bad as we think.
Are you warming to him?
I'm looking at the left-hand side, and obviously Xavi Simons is coming in, which I hope we're going to talk about on this episode. Of course we are. So he's coming in. I'm looking at that left-hand side now, and I'm going, Gittins is a young player coming into the Premier League for the first time. We don't know how good he's going to be. So quite frankly, is it easy to say that he's probably going to be a bench option, Gittins, this season? More often than not be starting on the bench rather than playing games? I think so. I think that's quite an easy assertion to make. I don't think it's guaranteed that he's going to be a starter.
I don't think it's as easy as you'd say.
So, okay, is Gittins going to get in the team over Simons?
Well, not if Xavi Simons comes in, but they might not play the exact same position.
Where do you think Xavi Simons is going to play?
I think he might play as a centre attacking midfielder at times. I think he might play off the left wing at times.
Where is Cole Palmer going to play when he plays as a 10? Right. On the right.
On the right hand side, but in a kind of freer role. Or potentially, don't shout at your devices, or potentially Cole Palmer is rested in certain matches.
I can't believe you're saying that. Can you make sure you do shout at him in the comments, because that's ridiculous.
What?
You want to rest Cole Palmer?
What, we're playing Morecambe again? Yeah, I do want to rest
Yeah,
Cole
no,
Palmer.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I do.
I'm
yeah,
winding
I
you up.
do.
I'm winding you
Early-
up. I weirdly do think, I don't know why they're doing this, because I would almost rather have, and what would you rather have? Would you rather have 3 strikers or 3 left wingers?
I'd rather 3 strikers.
Me too. But I feel that they're going to go big because the market opportunity, the commercials around the Garnacho deal, bearing in mind he's desperate to leave, Man United are desperate to sell him, he would be desperate to join Chelsea. I feel that we're going to be able to get such a good deal for Garnacho. It's almost too good to turn down. And it also would mean if we want to then sell him on to an Atletico Madrid in 2 years, we'll make a considerable amount of profit. If we can get Garnacho for less than 30 million, 25 million even, less than that, I feel that they'll be desperate to see that deal. More so from a business perspective than a playing time perspective.
Does he improve us?
Not necessarily, but there's a lot of people looking at the data right now and saying his data, especially in terms of getting in the box and getting shots away, is higher. In fact, I think he's in the top 10 in Europe that are under 21 at that level.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you know what my thing with it is? We've just gone and signed Jamie Gittins. We've got João Pedro there, who we know can play there. We've got Pedro Neto, who we know can go over there and will often switch over there in games.
He's better on the right, though, isn't he?
He's better on the right, but we know he can do that. Yeah. And in certain circumstances, they will have him over there. Esteval coming in, Mudryk we'll speak about in a second. But for the most part, not only do I think that we're good enough there, I think of one man in particular who I'm not seeing linked, by the way, with any loan moves or anything like that. And that's probably my main sticking point with the Garnacho deal. Do you know who I'm thinking of?
Come.
I'm thinking of Tyreek George, mate. I think if Tyreek George is in modern day football, because in modern day football, you don't get as many opportunities as you used to when we were growing up. I don't think. I think that the stakes have always been high, but I think the stakes are so high and managers' jobs are so at risk now in comparison, hiring and firing compared to back in the day. I think that managers will not take risks on young players a lot, right? So I think that barring... I can't think of anyone who's even done it recently, barring Cole Palmer, maybe. I was about to go back to a Rashford or someone, but that's a decade ago now. I think that barring that, right, Tyreek George couldn't have done much more when being presented with the opportunity. And then I think, okay, you've brought in Jamie Gittins, that's fine. To then bring in Garnacho, I think it's a little bit of a slap in the face of Tyreek George. Or am I being over sentimental?
The way that Chelsea are going to be run is that the homegrown players will always come at a premium in terms of the ability that we have to sell them is pure profit, and therefore we can invest that money elsewhere in a more aggressive way than we could do with any other player. And so I feel that any players that are on the periphery of the squad and are deemed, having seen them and therefore judged how good they are, to not be world-class level or close to world-class level, I feel more often than not, and not because of this is the right decision, but more so from a business perspective, they will look to sell those players. Hence why, and this proved to be a bad decision, they were looking to sell Trevor. I feel like if you're looking at Alfred Gilchrist, they're obviously looking to sell him. Bashir Humphreys, they've obviously sold him as well. I feel like any player that is around that level, they will look to sell. Now, is George a level above some of those player names that we've mentioned? Yes. Is he going to be a out-and-out, game-changing Premier League winger? I would say the jury is still out on
and
that,
what the jury's decided on Garnacho, have they?
I would say that the numbers around Garnacho have it, bearing in mind he's had four full seasons.
He's had 4
full seasons in the Premier League. He's older. But I feel like the data potentially is there for that decision to be made. I'm not saying it's the right one, by the way. I'm not saying it's the right one. I'm just saying I think that is what the guys in the suits are looking at right now.
I'd rather give Tyreek George the minutes. I'd love you lot to let me know in the comments whether you'd rather us go in for Garnacho and sign Garnacho, or whether you would rather us put our trust in what we have there, Jamie Gittins, Tyreek George and multiple other players that can play over in that position. Now, just quickly, because we have got to crack on and get through this, Xavi Simons, what's the hold up? Do you know?
I think it's mainly around the fee and the negotiations around it. Chelsea this summer have been quite aggressive in terms of making sure the numbers aren't too high, and then also agreeing bonuses that are pretty much in our favour, right? And so we know that he wants to come to Chelsea. We know that the personal terms I don't think will be a huge issue, although they probably are still doing a few bits on that because he's got a big ego of himself, and fair enough because he's a very good player. So I personally think it's more club to club.
Terrific little player is
terrific.
The terminology we use on this channel.
Terrific little player.
Yeah.
So I think it's more between the clubs as opposed to between him and
It's going to
us.
happen though, isn't it?
It is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I saw Fab the other day was saying it's 70% likely.
Now, let me tell you something, right? Let's go ideal world. No one gets injured next season, right? We're probably going to pay a double pivot, yeah, for the most part, with one in Burton. I think that although in-game it's not even improbable, let alone impossible, in terms of how we start matches, I'm now coming to the conclusion that we're not going to be starting games with Romeo Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo all on the pitch.
Especially with the attacking.
With the attacking additions, I just don't think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not to say I don't believe that they are on the pitch together at times, because I believe around the hour mark that changes can be made in certain games. You know, off the top of my head, I don't know, if we were getting overrun in the midfield against Newcastle or something, I could very much see all three of them being on there. But that's three players there if all are fit and available, right? Then we've got to speak about Andre Santos. He's come back in. This lad has just had a taste of real success at Strasbourg, right? Because what they did this season, by their standards, you look historically in that, really good season. Obviously, he did make team of the season, didn't he? Not their team of the season, obviously. He made the league and team of the season. I'm
Definitely.
pretty sure he did.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Really, really good there. And the words, you know, or what we're hearing, the briefings we're hearing, is he wants to stand fight for his place. He's confident in doing so. I believe so. But also, again, limited data to judge this on. I really like what I'm seeing from Asugu when he's played.
He looks great, doesn't he?
There's only small little bits of him, but he looks like a player, doesn't he?
He does.
So, would you say that really one of them two needs to go out on loan?
No, because the thing that you've done, which is fair enough, you set the question up in this way, is there's no injuries. Which, I'm sorry to say, mate, but Romeo Lavia's injury record is probably the most checkered I've ever seen of any player.
So say Romeo Lavia does get injured, right? Then you think that Enzo, Caicedo, Santos, and Asugu, and an injured Lavia, are you happy with that?
Yes.
You're happy with that?
Yeah.
No more, no less?
I don't think we definitely don't need to chuck any more players in there, because I feel that there are other players that can fill in a DM position potentially if absolutely needed. Bearing in mind,
Can I ask you a question then?
We've seen Reece James play that position.
Yeah, exactly. Can I ask you a question then?
Come.
What do we do at Kiernan Dewsbury Hall?
So there are rumours about Dewsbury Hall, aren't there? Have you seen these rumours?
There are rumours.
So the rumours.
Can I just say one thing before you tell me the rumour? Because it will come off in a really negative way after you tell me the rumour. I really like Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. I really like him. I really admire his professionalism. I think he's been a great example to any young player who is not getting the minutes that they perceived they would probably be getting. Tell me about the rumours.
The rumours are that Fulham are going to be putting in a bid for him. Now, much like their potential bid for Raheem Sterling, which could also be another one that we'll talk about, I think they're favouring a loan. But if we could recoup our money or make a little bit more, the businessmen at Chelsea are probably going to take that offer for a Dewsbury Hall.
Sure, I remember a couple of good-looking podcasters suggesting Dewsbury Hall to Fulham about a month ago, but yeah. Anyway.
Just saying.
Just saying. No. Just saying.
It's really funny, isn't it? Because I think Dewsbury Hall, for me, you know, when you ask me that question, is he going to fit into a DM position or do we need to include him? I almost don't necessarily include him within those players, and I'll explain why. He's come on in games and he's played on the right-hand side. He's played as a number 10. He's come on in a game as a closer that can come off, you know, replace an attacking player with I see him as a more defensive player, personally.
But if he went to Fulham, he would be a DM.
He would be a DM. But this is the thing. Enzo Maresca sees the formations and the positions in different ways. And remember back at the start of this episode, we were talking about how there were players that were signed and always were earmarked to then be sold. I feel like this was one of those ones that they knew they could get a very cheap deal, bearing in mind Leicester were relegated, and then potentially reinvest that
We
money.
signed him for 35 million quid, didn't we?
I think it was 30, and I think they can recoup that money back. I think they can get 35.
But then if you recoup, do we class it as good?
Yes, because the way that this is the finance chart, the amortization of the transfer, he'll only basically on book value be worth 5 to 10 million pounds in terms of what we've actually paid so far.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Not only is it a bit of a profit, it's actually like a 20 million pound profit.
And in your opinion, would we be sensible to move Keane and Dewsbury Hall on and have Andre Santos and Asugu there on standby, ready and being integrated for minutes in the cup competitions, which we will go deeper in this season?
We hope
Last
so.
season was a one-off.
Yeah, because
Fuck Brighton. Sorry.
just generally and also for their football team. Yeah, because
You notice I don't say Newcastle.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
knocked us out of
Yeah,
cup
yeah,
too.
yeah. You just love Newcastle. I think you've always got to put these things in context of the manager, because like you and I would probably class Dewsbury Hall as a DM, and we would look to see what he did at Leicester in a double pivot and the way that he carried the ball and saying, you know, that's exactly what he's good at. But Enzo Maresca, the manager who's going to be there, doesn't view him in that way. Do you know what I mean? So I personally feel that Dewsbury Hall is almost a bit of a luxury at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if we can afford too many luxuries with the amount of business that we still want to do. The context of this is, if we did manage to do all of the sales that we want to do, and I think we should talk a few more about some of the other sales. If we manage to do all of those sales, we should try and get another huge player. Do we try and go for a Morgan Rogers now instead of a Garnacho? Like, do you want to increase the team like that? I mean, that's what you can do if you do sell all of these players that we're trying to
How do you feel about Morgan Rogers doing the Cole Palmer celebration?
Apparently, Morgan Rogers, if you listen to him, said that he came up with it first. So
Could they both do that?
he has come up with the new celebration, Morgan Rogers,
What?
because he's doing the old. I can't remember who did this, but do you remember the player who did like the Robin celebration? Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
He's been doing one. He's been doing that.
I've seen him do that. Yeah. What was your goal celebration?
I just did almost like a shearer,
Yeah.
just one hand in the air. I was also very partial to a knee slide.
I never did the knee slide.
Why?
I wasn't very good at it.
Bad knees.
Full face forward. I just had two goal celebrations.
Go on.
Two very standard. My standard goal was always a tap in.
Yeah.
So like, you don't go mad over it. Do you know what I mean? You don't go mad over.
Depends.
I'd say it depends on the scenario or whatever. But if it was just my standard goal, it was the aeroplane. I just thought it was super Frank-esque. You know,
Fair
what I mean?
enough.
Always with the wings out after I scored it. If I scored something
A banger.
like, either a banger or something like, I remember like a little hill flick I did once. It was the old.
Oh. Did you ever do the shoe polish one? Because that was very popular when we were growing up. I did one of those.
But I was always shit until I got older. Then I become a bagsman. Then I started scoring goals. Right. There's been a briefing that has come out. 7 players on this list that Chelsea still want to get rid of, and I'm gonna rush through this because I want to get this episode up and have it less than an hour. So I'm gonna rush through it. Right? Sterling, Chilwell, Renato Vega, Axel Disasi, Kane Chukwuemeka, Leslie Ugochukwu, Amanda Broha. I want yeses and nos, and in the next episode we'll cover it in more detail. Do we move on Raheem Sterling this summer?
Yes, on loan.
Yes, on loan to who? Fulham.
Maybe not. No, probably somewhere abroad. I'd go MLS or Turkey. That'd be my guess. I don't think he stays in the Prem.
You would go there if you were Sterling.
I wouldn't go there, but that's where he's going to go.
Right, I was going to say he should really go to Fulham.
I don't know if the Fulham thing is serious.
He should really go to Fulham.
Willian. Do a Willian.
Willian as well. But
Andre Schürrle.
I mentioned this in a video recently. Sterling, Jack Grealish, Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell, clearly Jordan Henderson. As much as some fans think you should be, you're not out the picture when it comes to the international setup.
Very true.
Got a World Cup this summer. Out of sight, out of mind is a true thing. I'm not accusing Tommy Tuchel of it because we haven't yet seen that. And actually, we've seen the
He's
opposite
picking
to that
Ivan Toney in Saudi.
in terms of picking Ivan Toney in Saudi. But what I am saying is that's a limited little bit of database from a couple of friendlies that ultimately mean nothing, or they might have been qualifiers, I don't know. What I am saying is this: outside, out of mind, historically with England has been a thing. It has been a thing when players have moved abroad. Let's say, for example, we were crying out for a Fikayo Tomori in that team for ages when he was winning a Scudetto and whatnot and was getting nowhere near it. You know, boys like Ruben Loftus-Cheek and stuff like that smashing it out at AC Milan don't get a call up for the England team, but there's players that are way less deserving, in my opinion, that do. So I do think that outside, out of mind is a thing, and seeing that it's been a thing for younger players than Sterling, and for a player of his age, I think it's very much that. So I think he should stay in the Premier League, and then I think you've got a chance.
Do you think they want him in the Premier League? Do you think Premier League teams want Raheem Sterling on £350 a week?
No, of course
so that's
they
the thing.
don't.
So like, what he wants is very different from what might actually happen. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
on that one.
Yeah.
If I'm a betting man, I reckon he ends up playing for Galatasaray next season.
Yeah, maybe. How come Galatasaray can pay that money?
There's huge money in Turkey. There's huge.
Okay.
They sell out stadiums there.
Right. Okay. Yes or no, Chilwell?
Does he leave? I think the only way it happens, I think he probably won't. I think the only way it happens is if they rip up the contract, which they are talking about.
Terminate the contract.
Pay him off.
That's we have to pay him like.
Apparently, there were rumours that he reduced his wages last season so he could get a move.
Yeah.
But it's going to be multi-million pounds settlement fee to get rid of him.
Palace loan fucked him, man. I know he went there and won a cup and whatnot, but it's just like, can't tell you one game where you like looked at him and went, oh.
Can I just say that was a bit of a stupid move though, because you got Mitchell there who is a very good player.
I know.
I think that was a silly move for him, but he probably didn't have any options.
No, fair enough. We'll agree on these, yeah? Renato Vega, yes.
Go.
Yeah. Dasasi.
Yes.
I think he's a player. I think he's a useful player for Premier League sides. Conor Chukwuemeka, yes, definitely. Obviously. Leslie Ugochukwu, yes. Yeah. Amanda Broha, before you answer, do you know what Chelsea's asking price is for him?
I have seen it. Isn't it about 20 million?
25 million.
Yeah.
25 million quid.
I saw a very good tweet the other day, which was put a decimal point in that, and that's probably closer to his value. We will be very lucky if we get 5.
Do you know that's actually true? Because I know it. In my head, I know his value.
His value is like less than 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had 10.
No, it's less than 5.
I think 10 mil.
Not after the injury record and not after the way he ended the season with Everton. There's a huge question mark about how well he can actually do it.
Do you know what the problem is there? We talk about loan spells. We were talking about what clubs we would like our players to go to and all this sort of shit. You know what the problem with that is? Everton was set up for Broha. Like they were set up for they were set up.
They needed him.
Yeah, but systematically, like if it was going to work anywhere, it kind of should have worked at Everton a little bit.
Should have. And it didn't. This is the thing. Moisey would have loved to play like Broha.
Exactly.
It's just the injury record.
Just quickly, give me the answer then. Is he at the club next season?
No,
yes
he'll
or no?
He'll go, but they'll take a big bath on that one.
Right. Okay. So that was the list we were briefed with. Nkunku's not on that list. Has Nkunku worked his way back into Maresca's plans? Because he did actually look really good at the Club World Cup, right? There's been, again, we always say this with a bit of a pessimistic view because, you know, it can just be hearsay, but there has been a little bit of questioning over his attitude. The fact that we were starting Tyreek George and Pedro Neto through the middle when Nkunku was fit and available tells me that there is... there was fire with that smoke, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Like, there was something there. There clearly was. But clearly, Maresca's getting on all right of him now. The reason I think Nkunku should be on that list is because if the Xavi Simons deal comes off, like me and you said, there's no room for Nkunku, unfortunately. Agreed?
I think with all of the signings that we're going to get, I don't think there's any way that he still fits into the system. And so much so, I feel like they must have had some conversations to know that he will be leaving. Yeah. And to be fair, let's be honest about this. He played in the Club World Cup to raise his value so that we could sell him. I don't think actually Enzo Maresca is sitting there with all of the knowledge that he's had from the last season and gone, do you know what, he's a great player and I love him and I love his mentality and I've actually always rated him. I honestly do think he's gone, let's get him in the team, raise his value up, give him a bit of playing time so he can be there and start fighting fit for his next club.
So they're the 7 that apparently we want to get rid of that doesn't involve Nkunku.
You didn't include Jackson in that either, did you?
I didn't include a few players in that.
Okay.
Right? So there's 7, but I'm saying there's 15.
Please tell me some more then.
I'm saying, right, and again, this is one of the problems because when you talk about these things, people think that you want it to happen, but it would be very, very boring if we just came in here and went, no, we love everyone, they're great, we don't want anyone to get moved on. That's not how football works, unfortunately. And I'm saying there's 15 names that could be sold this summer if the right opportunities, deals and bids came in from. So I've written up a little shortlist. Nkunku was on there, which I've just told you. But also, I would not rule out the possibility that any of these players that I'm about to say are not here next season. I get the obvious out of the way because we've already discussed it. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Andre Santos, Nkunku and Nicholas Jackson, right? Any of them guys leaving would not surprise me. Here are the ones that might surprise you. Yeah? Malo Gusto. I think that the signing of Hato has a direct consequence on Malo Gusto. Can you see where I'm coming from?
Yes, but I think it will be another player that is sacrificed as opposed to Gusto.
Who?
Josh Champel.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I'm not saying he gets sold, but I think if you ask me the question, will Josh Champel play for Chelsea next season? The answer would be no.
Mate.
Which I think would be a huge mistake.
Oh, because I'll start losing my shit.
The Gusto thing, there were rumours that he was going to go to Bayern. Those rumours we haven't heard a lot of that since. I don't think they're going to sanction a sale of Gusto now. I don't think, unless there was a huge offer.
Gusto's brilliant. I love Gusto. I really, really like him, right? But I'm also not deluded. Joshua Champong fits this system so much better than Malo Gusto does. And when your sort of main opportunities is, you could be left back cover and, when Reece isn't there and whatnot. I don't know. I think if it isn't a Champong or Gusto one, and people might turn on me for saying this, I personally would keep a Champong. I personally would. I
think with the amount of football that we're going to have this season and the injury record of Reece James, I personally would want to keep all 3.
Okay.
And I also think that we're going to see Reece as a midfielder in a lot of games.
So this is relevant now that I move on to the other ones because this can kind of affect that. Benoit Badiashile wasn't on that list. Again, Benoit Badiashile is the less likely, in my opinion, to be sold out of him and Axel Disasi, and I actually think that Benoit Badiashile does more good than he does bad, and I think paired up in the right partnership, Benoit Badiashile can look great. So, the reason that he's on my list is that we've just signed a third left-footed centre-back at the club, or that can play centre-back, who we're probably going to use as a left-back, but can play centre-back. Levi Colwell is going to be a mainstay, probably a future club captain. Badiashile is a player that I do believe is important for us, but not so important that if someone came in with the right offer. So that's why I'm putting him as a potential there. Now, I'm going to blow your mind with one and I'm going to really anger you with one. I've got on this list, I want to clarify again, this isn't me saying I want these players sold. This isn't me saying I want them moved on. This is me saying I wouldn't be in utter shock, yeah? If Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer or Caicedo left this summer, we would be in utter shock.
And Cucurella.
And Cucurella. There's more. We go on. Yeah. We'd be in utter shock, right?
Absolutely.
I'm saying I wouldn't be in utter shock if Wesley Fofana left this summer.
Is anyone going to buy him with coming off the injury? Is anyone going to buy him? He's also on $200,000 a week.
Yeah, people would buy him. Yeah, I think if even it is a big if he can eradicate the injuries from his game, I think he's a world-class player.
That's why you'd keep him.
Yeah.
And also, I think you've got to factor in the transfer fee. Because the transfer fee wasn't a good deal. It was a huge transfer fee. Was it a transfer record for a defender? I
think it was about 79 million quid.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I think it was nearly 80. Yeah, I think you're right. So I personally remember when I was saying earlier on about how they want to bring in profit as much as possible. you're going to have to be selling him for 40, 50 million to make that the case.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone is coming in at that level to get him. I also don't think anyone at that level would take the punt on him.
No.
To be fair.
And I also would say, like, I've got him here because to make a good conversation, we need to play devil's advocate and stuff like that. I also think that the only reason anyone would even entertain it is because of the injury record, which has been abysmal, by the way. But when he has been on the pitch, I think he's been really good.
I love him.
I think he's been really good. So, yeah.
So who's going then? Because there's 3 right centre-backs.
Well, Axel Disasi.
We're not including him, mate. There's 3 excluding Disasi.
I'm not talking about Trevor Chalobah going. I'm not.
Out of Tosin and Trevor Chalobah, who's more likely to leave?
Trevor Chalobah, unfortunately.
Do you think?
From a business standpoint, the answer should be Tosin. And it should be Tosin because, one, I do think that there is room for loyalty in football. Yeah? Sensible loyalty, but loyalty nonetheless. 2, I don't think that either player is significantly better than the other in terms of Tosin Adarabioyo and Trevor Chalobah. Just one player has a lot more high-level experience than the other in Trevor Chalobah. But in terms of like quick flip profit, the Tosin one would make more sense. The reason I think Trevor Chalobah is more likely is to predict the future, you must look into the past, and for the past fuck knows however many seasons, we've been trying to offload Trevor Chalobah. So
it could happen.
I'd be absolutely gutted if he did. Do you want me to give you the last name on this list? Mudryk. He's probably not going to be at the club next season, is he?
Yes, he definitely will because he'll be still banned, so he won't be able to move anywhere.
Can't we tear out that contract?
If it is more than 2 years, yes, but I don't think we're going to get that answer anytime soon or within the season. He'll definitely start the season as a Chelsea player.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to tear up the contract anyway. I think they're going to want to sell him. So I reckon they'll sit tight and wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
But he could do.
We've done a thorough rundown there, to be fair, on the squad, on the signings that are coming in, potential ones. We will obviously be keeping you up to date. And we'll be in the studio early next week to cover some more breaking Chelsea stuff. We're going to record a true crime video now. So hit the link in the description if you're not already subscribed to Joey and Josh. If you like hearing us guys talk, regardless of the subject, we have got a separate channel where we do true crime stuff and we do memberships, which we do all sorts of stuff on, not just true crime as well. So that's linked in the description to this one. And also, last thing I will say to you, for those who have made it round until the end, I have my personalised link for Nyla apparel, which I'm sporting right now, in the description to this video, which gets you how much off?
There's a discount code now, and it's 10% for every single person that comes through the Chelsea Football channel, which is huge. And not only do they have those wonderful t-shirts, they also have a full tracksuit set in 3 different colours as well. So yeah, if you want to get anything that Joey wears, basically Joey just wears all that stuff all the time.
The trackies are the bollocks, mate, and the grey one is a banger. So hit a link in the description. We will see you all in the next one.